In the first month of the new term, George Laidlaw decided it was going to be a good year. He liked his teachers, he liked his subjects, and he liked his class. George Laidlaw had been nominated for the position of class secretary. Elections on Monday. One of his best friends, Tom Bertrand, was almost certain to be elected president. Thursday afternoon. This was the day Miss Billings would be returning the compositions they'd all written on the subject, My Summer Vacation. And what a wonderful summer it had been. George had found a new hobby, and he was looking forward to doing more about that too in the months ahead. That is to say, he was looking forward to it before this happened.
Before I return them, there's one composition I should like to read aloud. I'm going to call it Discovery because the person who wrote it, and wrote it very nicely, discovered a new interest this summer, a fascinating one. And there's nothing more exciting in the world than discovering new things. The composition was written by George Laidlaw.
George Shakespeare.
This summer, my family went to a cottage on Green Lake, and that is where I met Dr. Robbins, who lives right next door. He is not the kind of doctor we think of, but he's a doctor of science. That is also where I met Steve Robbins, whose father is Dr. Robbins. He's going to be a scientist, too. Dr. Robbins spends every summer at the lake doing one thing. He catches butterflies. He told us there are very many different butterflies around Green Lake, and that is why he comes there. A week after we first met, Steve came over with 2 butterfly nets and asked me if I would like to go over to the Nelson farm. That is about a mile away. He was looking for a special butterfly, and he wanted me to help him. I said I would walk over with him, but I wasn't going to chase any butterflies. He said okay, and it was a very nice walk to Nelson's, and that was my first expedition with Steve. By the time summer was over, I could hardly wait every afternoon to go out with Steve and catch butterflies. It was not only fun, but it was very interesting. I discovered that butterflies are very interesting to know about. I wonder how many people know that. Oh, that's too bad. I thought I'd have time to read it all. There's a lot of interesting information in this composition. I'm going to put it on the bulletin board, and you can read it yourselves later.
Boy, I can hardly wait.
Oh, I just love butterflies.
I'll return the rest of the compositions first thing in the morning. Class dismissed.
Hey, George, lend me your butterfly net sometime, eh?
I played with dolls this summer. What did you do, Larry?
George? Yes? George, I think this Dr. Robbins is very interesting to learn about.
Yes, he is. I learned a lot from him about nature and things like that.
Nature boy.
Oh, leave him alone. Hey, George, wait. Why didn't you wait for me in the cloakroom?
Oh, I don't know.
I didn't know where you'd gone. Say, that was a pretty funny composition you wrote today. I mean, were you trying to be funny?
No, I wasn't.
Well, the kids who read it seemed to think it was very funny.
Well, let them, will ya?
Paper's late job.
Oh, 10 minutes, they said.
Oh, let's go inside. But what I don't get is why you had to go and write it in the first place.
I told you. That's what I did this summer. And that's what we were supposed to write about. What we did.
You could have talked about swimming and things like that.
How was I to know she'd read it out loud like that? To everybody.
You didn't tell me about the butterfly since you came back. You told me about the boat.
Yeah.
Why didn't you write about that then?
Because the butterflies were more interesting. That's what I did most of the time. Go out with Steve.
You sound like you're crazy about chasing butterflies.
It was fun. It really was.
But nobody does that unless they're a little crazy. Or girls, maybe.
Dr. Robbins and Steve aren't crazy, and they aren't girls either.
But nobody I know does it. It seems kind of funny to me. To the kids, too.
What do they know about it?
It's a good thing for you the summer's over. I mean, you can forget the whole thing.
But I'm not going to.
Don't be crazy. People will think you're a creep chasing butterflies.
Listen, it's science, and it's very interesting.
All right, I warned you.
What do you mean?
If you want to be a creep, go ahead. George Laidlaw, he chases butterflies. That's what they'll say. They will. Remember William Stokes?
Yeah.
No one even called him Bill. All he did was lug around that great big cello or whatever it was and play with it all the time.
Maybe he liked it.
But he didn't have any friends at all.
So what?
So that's the way you'll be. Like him, William Stokes, you won't have any friends.
Why?
Well, because no one chases butterflies. That's why. It's too different. It makes people feel funny when you're different like that. William Stokes was different. Would you vote for him for class secretary?
He wouldn't be nominated.
That's what I mean. Nobody'd nominate him.
He most likely wouldn't want to be class secretary.
Oh, he'd want to be.
He'll probably be famous someday.
William Stokes?
A famous musician.
Oh. Harvey Feld won't be, though.
What's he got to do with it?
Remember last year he used to go around those gray shorts? Wool shorts?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Everybody wears jeans or something like that, and Harvey goes around in those gray shorts. He sure looked funny.
Yeah, I wonder why he wore them. Everybody thought he was a real freak.
You see? It's the same thing. No one chases butterflies either.
It's not the same thing.
It is the same thing.
Papers are here.
See you at the end of the route.
Okay.
George, back there you said something about that you're not going to forget this butterfly stuff. I mean, you can't chase them in winter.
I was thinking of joining a club.
A butterfly club?
Studying butterflies.
Hi.
Hi. Hello, Jack.
Say, I just saw Larry. He just told me about your composition.
Oh, the teacher liked it. He got a good mark.
It's a good thing somebody liked it.
What are you doing tonight?
Homework, I guess.
George! Hey, George! I've been waiting for you. Just went over to show you these butterfly nets. Dad just got them today. Nice, huh?
Yeah, they sure are.
Dad said you could have one. Save it for next summer.
Gee, that's sure nice of him.
You were a big help to him. Best assistant he's had, he said.
Oh, I didn't do much. But Steve, I'd like you to meet Tom Bertram and Jack Knowles.
Glad to know you. George, it's getting late. I have to hurry. But tomorrow night is the first meeting of the club, and Dad's taking some of the butterflies he mounted this summer. You're coming, huh?
Well,
Starts at 8. Be really interesting.
Say, George, I forgot to tell you about that hockey game on TV tomorrow night. We could see it at my house. A bunch of the guys are coming over, too.
Will you come, George? Dad'll drive us there.